Although Payday 2 has over 70 maps, a lot of them aren't really something people actually play. Realistically, only like half of those maps are actually played for fun. However, since Payday 2 has a pretty big modding community, people have taken it upon themselves to make maps for the game. I've never really played custom maps outside of stuff like Enemy Spawner, and so I figured I could try a variety of maps made by the community to see how they hold up. Actually, I lied. I have played a custom map before, and it's this one. Let's just get one thing out of the way first, this map is a joke. It's not meant to be taken seriously, so I'll keep the review of this one short. If you don't know what this map entails, well, it's just Heat Street, but with a lot of gates, scripted dozers, and traps. The visual design of this map is not great, it's just vanilla Heat Street with a whole bunch of gates in the way. In terms of level design, well, I can't really call it good. It also has a pretty silly skip that just wasn't tested by the creator, in which you can leave the beast parts behind. I'm not surprised this wasn't tested, because, again, the map is a joke. The first playthrough of this map is actually oddly fun if you have a team together. Because of the nature of this map, everyone has to play a specialized role or else you aren't getting through. Designing a path through this level for the first completion is great, and completing the map is rewarding. However, after you finish it once, there's no real reason to play the map again. Planning a route and builds for this map can take like 5 hours total, and actually attempting to beat it can take about as much time, but after you're 10 hours on it, you'll never come back. If you're someone looking for new maps to play, it's kinda hard to suggest this one. Another lie, as I have played this map too. However, unlike Pain Street, I haven't finished Pain World Bank. This is the sequel to Pain Street, and was made in response to the completion of that map. I was actually looking forward to trying a new challenge, but unfortunately, this map just sucks. The pacing is awful, and playing it is really boring. Pain Street had almost all sawable gates, but the majority of gates here are for thermal drills, and every time a drill finishes, it respawns back at the beginning of the map, making you trek back and forth every time. The end result is just place a drill and camp over and over for roughly 3 hours. Pain Street is about an hour long, which is already pushing the limits of good gameplay, but 3 hours is too much. Visually, there's nothing to talk about. It's First World Bank but uglier. The map flow is just bad, boring, and uninspired. Routing for this map takes even longer than Pain Street, since the amount of traps was just cranked way up, and the run itself is longer, but there's no reason to do it. There's no pleasure to be gleaned here. I kinda feel bad just shitting on this one creator's work, since Pain Street and Pain World Bank were sort of made bad on purpose. So why not take a look at their actual maps? There are a plethora to choose from, but I decided to try out the Pacific Bank. Upon spawning in, now that's a bank. This is a bold opening, and I really like the spectacle of it. It's dense with people, and you can really feel that you're interrupting something busy. After hacking into some PCs, you break into the security room and flip the power. Now comes my first issue with the map. Do we really need to carry the beast from the entrance to here by hand? Surely there could have been some better way. Since I played this solo, this was a special pain in the keister. After waiting around for the beast to finish, you go into the vault. One thing I really like about this vault is that it uses the safe house vault design. I think it's a really cool design, but it doesn't get used for anything in the game. How many people even visit the safe house? One thing I don't like about the vault is how little there actually is in it. Such a massive bank, and this is the payoff? That's kinda underwhelming. That's kinda sad, actually. What the hell? You could open the deposit boxes, but come on, that's just so disappointing. Another annoying part of the map is that you need to move these bags back to the very front if you have the default escape. And while we're on pre-planning, this map has some unique elements. You can hire another crew, which is kind of cool, but I found that you can accidentally kill these guys with grays, so watch out for that if you want to play this map. Anyway, after finishing this map once, I decided to play it again but with a saw in C4, since there's quite a lot of doors that need it. But before that, I did what I didn't get to do last game. For the most part, the map played the same, just slightly faster, and I think that with 4 players, you can cut this map's time down to 13 or 14 minutes without needing to really try. Anyway, this map looks pretty, but it really boils down to 2 big rooms that are just boxes. There's not a whole lot of room to run around, or a lot of map to explore, so I can't really praise it too much. The gameplay flow is a ride. It's alright overall, but moving the beast across 7 light years is just annoying. Waiting for the beast also doesn't give you much to do, because like I mentioned, there really isn't much to the map. As for map content, it's not bad. If this was an official map, it wouldn't be something I play 100 times, but I'd give it 30 to 40 plays. This map has an interesting idea. You just repeat a modified First World Bank vault for however long you want. At least I assume. I don't know if this map ever hits a final floor. Honestly, this is what Holdout should have been. This map is tiny and there really isn't much to it. However, I quite like it. One thing that really could improve this map would be to give it crime spree elements. As you continue going, things get harder and harder. I like the idea of Holdout and crime spree in this game, I just don't like the execution. This map has potential, but there are some issues. Obviously, this is just a small room. You're gonna get tired of it pretty quick. Another issue is the crazy spawn rate. I was having a hard time keeping up with even the cheesiest of builds. I called in support just to see how enemies would scale, and it seems like they just don't. The map is permanently at 4-player spawns, which doesn't make it something I can see people playing on Death Sentence. I would say this map looks pretty, but that's just because it's First World Bank. The map design is also pretty plain. You run in a circle and kill, drop to the lower level for drill repairs, and then move some bags. However, the actual gameplay flow is great. Intense battle, quick securing period, rinse and repeat. If this was balanced a bit, this would be so much fun. At least it would be fun for as long as you're willing to do it. If you don't like repetition, you probably won't see much value here. I didn't know what to expect out of a small map like this, but I can assure you that I didn't expect this to be the hardest map ever made. Well, I'm exaggerating, but this map is a bit goofy. The first impulsive thought in my mind was whether I could walk into the ocean.
Can I escape into the water? I can. What the fuck?
Turns out, you can. I continued playing the map until I had a small realization. I'm not taking any damage.
Why did I just stop taking damage?
Yeah, apparently drowning makes you immortal on this map, so I'd have to do it again without that. As it turns out, these island guards do heavy damage, so that ate up a few attempts. Considering you would need to dig up and move all the loot without any cover at all, I think the only feasible option is to stealth the beginning. After you do that, you need to assemble a cage and carry the stuff out, which, good luck. In the end, I resorted to double ECM Kingpin to finish up the map. See, the enemies spawn from these ships surrounding the island, and there's not much to put between you and them. Could this be done full out from the beginning? Probably, but it would be hard and take a lot of work that I'm not willing to do. Go call Uncle Gulgil for that. Anyway, this island is pretty, all things considered, but it's hard to call the map design engaging. It's just a circle. The gameplay is also nothing exciting. You just cower until the assault ends and go move bags. Is this how most people see Goat Simulator? On top of that, the replayability is lacking, but for a quick 10-minute adventure, it's not terrible. I went into this map thinking it was a joke like the Pain series, but it's actually not. This map is a sort of recreation of Harvest and Trusty, but in Minecraft. The goal here is to break into the Obsidian Vault using a drill that you need to build yourself. I'm not against the idea, but I feel like this is just something you do before the map really starts. Punch trees, punch cobble, make drill, start map. As for the rest of the map, well, it's just Bank Heist. Technically, it's the fire starter Bank Heist as I found out the hard way.
Really? Really?
Anyway, after waiting for the vault to open, I entered to find my diamonds and came to a realization.
Wait, these are all individual? What? I eat all of them?
Why on earth is securing 14 bags required? This is such a hassle for no good reason. I started trying to secure them, but combining the fact that my van spawned in a terrible spot and that I was playing Grinder, chances weren't high that I was going to finish anytime soon. In life, you need to know when to hold them and when to fold them, and it was folding time. I spent 27 minutes on the map until I figured it was time for a build change. Could I have beaten the map in that run? Probably, but I was already low on first aids, and I didn't want to drag the game into waiting for Fade Simulator. I grabbed Stoic and went back. Bang bang boom, map done. This map is really unique. At least it's the only one that I played that retextured the civs. The cops also got a texture change, but the Marshal was still the vanilla one, so basically unplayable, 0 out of 10.
Wait. That ain't right.
The map layout is more or less expanded bank heist, as you can go into all the little stores and whatnot on the sides. To be honest, I can't complain about the map design outside of it being nothing special. As for the gameplay flow, well, again, it's just bank heist. However, having to secure an annoying amount of bags definitely knocks it down a peg. Will I go back to this map ever again? No. I got what I wanted out of it, because, again, just bank heist. It's a nice novelty map, but nothing really more than that. Here's a map in which you raid Gensec and Murky Water, and it is massive. I couldn't figure out how to even get in to start the map for a little while.
Oh.
That's the easy part out of the way. Find a way down.
Huh.
Murky water.
I attacked Gensec first, which turned out to have a big vault. After breaking some servers, I needed to overheat the vault meltdown style, so I searched around for 2 crowbars and plugged the fans. However, I would find out that there are more than just 2 fans. I only ended up finding 2 more crowbars, but the vault ended up opening for me anyway. From here on, I would need to secure or destroy some evidence, which I did by throwing off the side of the map. Something that I didn't mention is that I haven't been facing enemies for a long while now, and at this point, I realized why. They all got stuck for some reason. Anyway, evidence destroyed, I placed some C4 and waited for the van. However, since the map involves Murky Water too, I figured I could try stealing their stuff. After entering, I found out that there was no power, and I needed to find a generator to start everything up again. For the next 4 minutes, I ran around aimlessly looking for it, until I stumbled near enough for the game to recognize that I found it. Now I can start hacking, but uh-oh, the generator is out. So I found gas and started it again. The next several minutes went like this. The generator is out, scramble around to find a gas can, refuel the generator, repeat. Seriously, this was incredibly annoying. I even thought the map was broken or something at this point. But eventually I was given a new task to kill the Murky Water officer. I searched around, but never did find the officer in the end. I was done with the map, and had no real interest in continuing. With less than 3 kpm and running around a massive compound completely lost, this map didn't leave a good taste in my mouth. I don't really know what the triple threat here is, outside of a cold pillow, warm blankets, and melatonin gummies. By the time I finished playing this map, I was bored out of my mind. While I think the map has some interesting ideas, I just don't like how it's executed. The visual aspects of the map aren't terrible, I guess, but it's just very cluttered. The actual map design, though, ugh. Finding my way around was a nightmare, as everything looked the fucking same. The gameplay was not good, I wasn't engaged by enemies basically at all, and the objectives consisted of scavenger hunts without any clues. Why did the creator choose to just make everything hidden? It's such a pain to go around and find these things in a giant map, where everything looks the same, and I don't know what I've searched and what I didn't. This map feels like it should be a stealth only, but that's because the map design complements that. Long walls make for good stealth cover, but are terrible for loud. I have no interest in stealth, so I'm not going back to the map, but feel free to do so and let me know what it's like. This is a map that I wanted to try out, because I remember that a couple years ago, Hardware Store was all the rage. Everyone played this map, and my YouTube recommendations pushed it too. However, I wasn't interested at the time and never did look into the map. But after playing it, I can see exactly why this map is so popular. This map is different from everything I played so far. First off, it looks gorgeous. Looking at it from spawn shows how nice it is already, but the interior is even nicer and more unique. However, before I get into that, this map has a custom soundtrack. Although I like the track framework by Tiny Dancer, I don't really think it fits the map particularly well. It's a little bit too dubsteppy, but that's not too important. This map also has custom skins by Sush.exe, but I don't think they're anything to rave about. They look nice, but they're too subtle to be anything to notice. Anyway, the map. First off, you need to break into the security room and hack the PC. After the world's least successful Zerk, and finishing that, I could move on. Then I needed to go find a cabinet, and I noticed a really nice detail.
What the hell? Indoor snipers.
I respect clever sniper placement, and I really like this one. However, I'm not really a fan of the turrets in this area. Anyway, the cabinet needed some thermite, so I went and found that. Unfortunately, my run would be ended soon enough while I was uncovering the vault, as I ended up dying to this of all things. Not a problem, I swapped to Hacker Yzma and redid everything up to there. One difference in the second run was that instead of thermite, you needed to saw open the cabinet. It's really the same thing, but I like saws more since you can at least see their timers. I still had troubles uncovering the vault, but at least I didn't die to a dozer I didn't see. However, it would not be that easy, so I would need to blow up some electrical boxes. I signaled for C4 and waited for that to drop. It took a little while to find all of them, but the game did highlight them for me after a while. I then went back to loot the vault. There isn't too much of value, to be honest, but you can probably open up a lot of things with a crowbar if you want more. Anyway, you need to secure the bags in the car, and when you have enough, you get to drive off and escape. This was pretty cool, but I wish there were better signals as to where I needed to drive. I was basically making these turns last second. Anyway, you arrive at the barn where you'll need to hold out. To secure the bags, I figured I needed to drive up this ramp at the end, but it doesn't seem to be that way, and the bags needed to be secured by hand.
I don't think this is intended.
I camped out a little more until I could get all the bags out of the car, which I didn't make easy for myself, and then I escaped. This map is just a masterpiece. It really is. It has a somewhat similar design to Triple Threat, but it doesn't look as cluttered, and it doesn't leave you lost when you try to look for objectives. This map always keeps you moving, but not without purpose. It's varied and has lots of stuff to do and see. There were a couple lulls in the action where I felt like I was waiting for something to happen, but overall, I had a great time. This heist does go a little long, which can be exhausting, but nothing is without purpose here. If you were only going to play one map from this video, make it this one. I would 100% go back to play this again with friends or pubs if it was added in as an official heist. I like heights. Plane flights, cliff faces, and of course, skyscrapers. This map was basically calling to me, and upon entering the map, it was exactly what I hoped for. However, that would change kinda fast. The map starts with a lockpick, and if you remember my critique of Dragon Heist in the City of Gold campaign video, you'll know that this is not a good way to start. Even more, I was already being swarmed by enemies, and I needed to lockpick another door. This was an awful start to a map, and I was not going to bother with it. I switched my build for a saw and restarted. Upon the second run, I got into the elevator like a minute in.
Okay. Well. Bye. Hello.
In the next section, you need to find your way up to another saw door. Really? And as a cruel joke, there was another saw door right away. Why would you design a map like this? It's just a waste of your player's time. Either that, or having them lose a weapon for a saw. Saws should be for speeding up objectives, not speeding up movement. Anyway, the next section needed me to disable some servers and then cut a wire. So far, I was not very impressed with the map. Then I took an elevator up, set up 2 zip lines even though I was solo, and went down.
Whoa. That's fucking sick.
At last, I reached the vault, and it would need 2 drills to open. Unfortunately, this run was coming to an end. Converts don't follow you up, so I was sort of left stranded and fragile. No problem, I just needed a build that would have a saw and no convert reliance. Run 3, I was all ready to go, right? Well, let me recount to you the next 50 minutes of my life. The map started the same way, and went more or less the same, so I'll just cut to where I died earlier. I set up the drills and prepared to fight. However, Houston got cloaked, and I couldn't really help him. I ended up trapping myself behind this door for the rest of the assault. I waited it out and traded for Houston. Not even a minute later, he gets cloaked again. I then found myself a new, seemingly better place to hide so that I could wait out the assault again, as I managed to not fix the drills or save Houston. Assault finishes, trade Houston, fix drills, cloaker on Houston.
Really?
Wait out the assault, trade Houston, fix drills, cloaker on Houston.
Come on! What is this?
Alright, wait out the assault, trade Houston, fix drills. Finally, I made it to the vault, and like clockwork, cloaker on Houston. I tried to push out and secure one bag, but I realized that this would be a mistake, so I needed to back out of that idea pretty quickly.
Oh god.
At this point, I needed a break. I paused the game and went to make tea. 10 minutes later, I was back and ready to keep going. I got myself back into the vault, whipped out the saw, and got the bags ready for securing. I traded Houston out next assault, and since I sorta wasted the fade, was forced to wait inside the vault until the next one. However, at some point, enemies just stopped spawning, so I took my chance and secured the bags. I went back up the zipline and waited for the helicopter to free me from my miserable adventure.
Get me out of here.
This map has a lot going for it, but I think it's held back pretty hard by some other elements. But first things first, the visual design. Visually, this map is incredible, and easily the best of any I played so far. Looking out over the skyline is glorious, and the inside of the building is awesome too. However, in terms of map design, it's iffy. There's no reason to have so many metal doors at the beginning of a map. These are annoying time wasters. What's more, there isn't much room to hide around for the vault area of the map. After all, I ended up relying on a single door and a single room for the majority of it. I can imagine that without a saw, the gameplay flow would be miserable and slow, so if you ever play this map, I recommend bringing it. However, assuming my team AI luck would be better, I would love to go back and play this map again. It scratched an itch that I didn't know I had, and with friends who are more effective than Houston, this map could be lots of fun. Here's the big one, the one that I was most looking forward to, and frankly, the one I was disappointed in more than anything else. Before I get into that, let me just go over some miscellaneous things. Just like the hardware store earlier, this map comes with custom music and skins. Let's start with the music, of which there are 3 songs. The first, Boulevard Bonanza, is pretty good. Even if it is repetitive, it has a menacing feel to it and fits with the game in general. The second, Hyper Heister, I don't really like. Similarly to Framework from the hardware store, it's a little bit too dubsteppy. Combine that with the general feel of the song, and I don't think it fits too well. The final song, Blood and Billions, is also on the repetitive side. This one fits though. These tracks aren't something I would listen to while playing the game regularly, but as a one-time listen, I enjoyed them. Unlike Hardware Store, the skins that come with this map are very bold, at least aside from the 3 which don't seem to work. I like skins in this game, and goddamn, these are nice. Who do I need to deep throat to get these in the game officially? As I said earlier, this map really disappointed me, and I'll get into why shortly. However, if you want these skins without the map, the creator put them up as a separate mod. With that out of the way, the Gensec Raid. This map drops you into chaos. You run into some containers that need to be moved, so you need to turn on a crane. Unfortunately, a bunch of stuff doesn't work, and you need to go rewire boxes. Not a problem, I thought. I'll just wait until the assault ends and go do that.
This is endless? Why?
Yep, the beginning of this map is an endless assault. Endless assault mechanics are generally a terrible idea, unless you really know what you're doing with them, and even then, they probably aren't any fun. This means I had no real choice but to push out. When I got to where the map wanted me to go, I got another fun surprise.
Oh, there's a turret. Come on.
Just like endless assaults, SWAT turrets aren't any fun to play around. Hardware Store at least had them in places you could avoid, but this turret has an infuriating line of sight. Although I got to where the game was telling me to go, I had no idea what to do next, and being suppressed by a turret on top of that.
What? What does this tree want from me?
Well, I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of restarts, so let's just skip to when I eventually resorted to triple SMG hacker with double converts and first aid kits. Abusing the deck's abilities, I finished rewiring the boxes and could now place a drill. This is the start of a pretty awful trend in this map, which is padding out time. This drill is here for no reason other than to be here. There's no reason to go and rewire electrical boxes for the ability to open a door. Anyway, the crane moves the containers and on to the next part, which at least doesn't have an infinite assault. From here, I hacked a PC, which then told me to go find a safe with the help of the world's most ambiguous marker. After stumbling around lost for a couple minutes, I got distracted by a door I could saw open. So I saw to it that I got the saw through the door. Unfortunately, it didn't lead anywhere, so I had to go back to being on task. I went back to the confusing marker and looked around until I found where it wanted me to go. I needed an RFID tag to open the safe, for some reason, and apparently I picked one up somewhere. I'm not going to go back through this footage to find where, so just roll with it. I hacked some PC and went back to the safe, which gave me a keycard. This keycard could be used to open this big gate, but no, that isn't enough. Now the door I sawed open is going to be useful. Inside were a hard drive and server. After the next marker appeared, I headed to it, leaving behind the server. Surely the map didn't want me to carry it through a battlefield. When I got there, there was one of those fun lockpick doors.
Oh, come on.
Anyway, yeah, I need to go back and get the server. I brought the server as slowly as possible, did some PC hack, and then had to carry it back.
Oh, come on.
This is not fun at all. There's no entertainment to be had while walking back and forth slowly. It's redundant and annoying, but at least it was possible. Unlike the first part of this map, the second part has very few enemy spawns and very few dangerous angles. After bringing the server back, I needed to hack another PC. Are you fucking kidding me? Everything in this map so far has been walking back and forth and waiting on a timer to open another timer. Why would you ever design like this? This has no respect for a player's time at all. Even worse, this hack can be interrupted by the power being pulled, so I hope you like running up and down floors to deal with that. Eventually, the hack finished, and I had to go find an armory. But it wouldn't be that easy, no. I need to go get nitrogen, so I went to go saw open a truck. Again, more pointless timers. I literally just sat behind this truck for most of the time. This isn't fun. From the truck, I got a bag of nitrogen. No, not the nitrogen itself, but a bag. This bag I carried back down to the armory and then placed the nitrogen from inside onto the doors. Now there are 4 doors here, but only one has the correct key. The bag of nitrogen has 4 tanks, and you need to place all 4 to check which one is correct. So why fucking bother making me carry another bag? What was wrong with just taking nitrogen from the truck in the first place? After getting a key, I opened the door and fought Hector. Yes, he's here too. I got another keycard, so I could finally go and open that big door from earlier. At least that's what I thought, because I needed to go do another task. I hack another PC, and again, why? Why isn't this just one interaction it's done? Why do I need to wait through another fucking timer? Finally, I could open the door and be done. No. Now I need to set up 4 sentry guns for some reason. This is the last thing you do before escaping, and you've heard me say it several times already, but here comes again. Why? This is just so pointless. The enemies didn't even have enough time to pathfind to me here, so there was no threat. Why do I need to do these interactions? Unfortunately, my time with this map isn't over.
That's it. Am I free? Oh. Huh?
There they are.
What is the point of putting this here? Is it some kind of joke? This is not something you should make players sit through for no reason, which is just the theme of this map. And so ends day 1 and begins day 2. The first problem was trying to get it to run in the first place. I started it and it crashed instantly. So I tried again and then the game stopped responding. The crash log gave me the good old out of memory error, which the map page did warn about, saying to play the game on medium textures. Thing is, I already was, so I dropped it even further to low graphics. I was worried about maybe custom music causing problems, so I set it to the default music. When I first tried day 1, my game crashed by just selecting custom music, and I really didn't want to take any risks at this point. As day 2 starts, I'm told to go find and hack another router box. Objective marker not provided, please bring your own. Since I was without custom music, and I wanted to hear the custom tracks of the heist, I went down while trying to change it through the Poco HUD jukebox. Finally, after 3 minutes of stumbling around, I found the box. After waiting out this incredibly impactful timer, I moved into the building. I went to go check the archives, and honestly, I'm surprised there wasn't a door or something I had to lockpick here. Luckily, I didn't need to wait too long for another fun waiting moment, since I needed to get sleeping gas from the cage.
What is the point of this, dude?
I camped here to trade for Houston after he died outside, since Team AI for some reason can't pathfind inside. Eventually, when the gate opened, I was getting tired of the music, so I went to change it. I accidentally opened some Windows program trying to leave the Poco menu and died. At this point, I don't have a hostage. Do I want to play through the beginning of this map again? No. Are the downs to me changing music twice my fault? 100%. Is uncustodying myself cheating? Absolutely. That said, it was just about 3 in the morning at this point, and I didn't particularly care. Cheating is bad, kids. However, this map is worse. Moving on. I pumped the gas into God knows where, and then went to hack a computer. From there, I went downstairs, but oh, the door needs to be lockpicked. What a joy. Of course, one lockpick isn't enough, so I needed to find another one. Remember to bring your own objective marker, because I couldn't find this thing either. Then I went back to where I started, and then up the stairs. Here I encountered some PCs. I needed to hack the correct one, but if you remember, my textures are set to low.
Well, Kim, baby?
In the end, I just guessed until it worked out, and from there, I opened a server room, in which I opened another thing. And why is all of this redundancy built into the map? Seriously, I get it already, we can stop. But we haven't had a drill in a while, so I waited out this 3-minute drill and got a wonderful surprise.
Oh, come on.
I was annoyed that I needed to carry these 3 heavy bags to finally break into the big vault of the lobby. Unfortunately, I was mistaken, and this is not where the bags go. Yes, these bags go downstairs. After that excursion, well, clearly I haven't done enough, so I needed to go get thermite. But of course, I need a crowbar to do that, and I need to go search for it. Anyway, I get the crowbar and thermite, which I then bring to the winch. But would anyone really be satisfied if the winch went too fast? That would miss out on gameplay, right? And so I did more waiting. After cutting some wires, I picked up a quote-unquote experimental drill, but at the very least I was finally breaking into the last vault. Or at least that's what I thought. I'm sure you can tell I was having a great time at this point. Anyway, I waited for the drill to finish, and yes, it did that EMP effect every single time.
Oh, that's not gonna get annoying at all.
And now there were 4 doors that I needed to open, and each one required a different activity.
There's more.
I'm not going to bore you with more running back and forth between things, and I'll just show the last one. The retinal scanner is the only unique one that doesn't really require pointlessly doing waiting related objectives.
This is so nice on the ears.
Another hack later, I get told to go approve on a PC because we really needed this at this point, right? I see what looks like an escape zone, but I've been playing for almost 50 minutes, so I don't get fooled that easily.
Is that it? Now what? Why?
And finally, after way too fucking long, I get to escape. As you can imagine, I don't have much positivity to share about this map. Look, I don't like being negative all the time, but I'm just terrible at faking positivity. I can't praise something I don't believe deserves praise, and although I can see a lot of work from a lot of people went into this map, it just doesn't go anywhere. Visually, this map is a complete mess, Different parts of different maps just feel Frankenstein together, and it's visually jarring. As for the map design, well, I hope I don't really need to go into that. The difficulty is tragically unbalanced. You need meta whoring to get past the first part of the first day, and the rest of the map is not even close in difficulty. Endless assaults, turrets, wide open spaces for no reason. Everything, and I mean everything, is just wrong. The gameplay flow is a complete nightmare. From waiting around, to walking back and forth with heavy bags, to walking back and forth with heavy bags so that I can wait around so that I can walk back and forth with heavy bags. There is not a single fun objective on this map. Not a one. That's a pretty terrible thing as is, but remember that playing this map takes over an hour. I don't really like to toot my own horn, but if I, someone with 5,000 hours and more or less complete mastery of the game, need to resort to meta-slaving to play the map, how is the average player supposed to play it? And that's even if they can play it. The map crashes on startup very easily, and is overall unstable. Many people don't have good frame rates and can't even run this map according to the map page comments. Personally, I didn't have any issues with that, but I have a $2,000 PC, and that should never be a requirement to play a map. A map in this state should never have left development. Shit like this shouldn't fly past testers. This map has testers, or at least it claims to have testers. Did no one on the team play this map and think, hey, isn't this incredibly unfun? Did no one see their game crashing and think to correct that? This map also has a custom difficulty, but you need to unlock it somehow, and the map page highly recommends to play the map multiple times before trying it, and needless to say, I'll pass on that offer. I just don't understand how this map was even made, and considering the splash it made on release, I'm so incredibly disappointed. I haven't heard about custom maps in a while, but when this one dropped in the workshop, my Discord lit up about it for a day or two. In a way, this map inspired the video. I didn't research anything about the maps I played before I went in, because I wanted to be blind, but I wanted the video to build up to the ultimate custom heist. In the end, it built up to a perfect 0. Download the skins and music if you like them, but stay away from this map at all costs. Your time would be better spent playing Bomb Forest. And those were the 10 custom maps that I played. Aside from Payne Street, Payne World Bank, and Pacific Bank, I wanted to get maps from different creators to try out a variety of stuff and styles, and if nothing else, I did. If I were to give a recommendation for any of these maps that you should play, I'd say to give Hardware Store a go, and if you have some friends willing to bring saws, then play Skyscraper Heist 2. Before I end the video, I want to give a couple suggestions to any map makers out there based on what I've learned. First off, respect your players' time. Don't make them wait around for no good reason. Second, stay away from endless assaults and turrets. Nothing good can come out of these two features unless used extremely well. Third, balance your gameplay. It's okay to have a very hard section or two, but follow them up with a break. This allows you to make a push and pull of attention, which is a lot more fun than a constant push or a constant pull. Fourth, don't lose your player. There's no reason to have a player wander aimlessly on a map they don't know. Unless you intend for your player to get lost, for example the sewer of GoBank, place objective markers by where you want them to go. Fifth, playtest more than you think you should. More playtesters means more opinions, and more opinions allows less problems to leak through the final product, which would help mitigate the previous issues. And finally, something that's more of a request than a suggestion, but consider solo players. Yes, Payday 2 is a co-op game, but not everyone is going to have a group of people willing to download a modded map to play for one single attempt. And that concludes this video on custom maps. Are there any maps that you think I should try out? There's more than enough maps on the workshop for another video, or 2 or 5. Are there any mod-related things that you want me to look into? Maybe overhauls? You can always let me know in the comments, but for now, I'll be taking my leave.